When you're starting out in acting, one of the goals is to get an acting showreel together. Now this can be quite hard getting it up and running because either you're waiting for productions to give you the footage back or you're just waiting for opportunities to give you the acting roles. Either way, it's something that you'll tackle throughout your acting career and something you'll build up nice and slowly. So if you're first starting out for your first showreel, my recommendation is to focus on one acting reel, which will include everything and anything you have at the moment or soon to have. But focusing on one reel will allow you to show your range in your performances, whether you are focusing on a screen reel or a stage reel, for example. But once you start to gain enough footage, then you can start looking at having separate reel for each genres. For example, you can have a commercial reel, you can have a comedy reel, dramatics reel, and so on and so on. But you'll slowly get there once you start getting enough footage. But don't worry too much about that. It's just something good to know for now and something to work towards down the line and something you can eventually build to. So firstly, I'm going to go through how I got all of my showreel footage when I first started out. So here we go. My first scenes I got were projects or assessments that I filmed whilst I was at university studying. I believe the scene that I mainly used for my reels that I really liked was a duologue that I had with another student, but I used the footage that was only on me and I pretty much just put that in my reel to show my range. It was quite like a dramatic one and it had quite a few levels and it was also my age range, so it was pretty perfect for a reel. And any other key scenes that I used in my reel from my performances were either ones that we created within our courses for like screen ones, and just anything I could get my hands on that could slightly be useful for an acting reel, because I pretty much had nothing when I first started out. Number 2, student projects. Yes, you've heard me say this a million times if you've seen many of my other videos, but I pretty much learned everything and started to build my skills on other people's student projects. But I just tried to get involved as many as I could, either by contacting the course leaders on the film courses or just ask my course leader to try and get me into any of the projects that they were creating on the film and TV courses and so forth. But if you are contacting them and you're at this stage or near university, just send over your details, a little bio about yourself and what you would like to do, because you never know, you might get an opportunity and we all have to start somewhere. Number 3 is website castings. Now that includes everything you could probably think of, whether it's for the UK, you have Backstage, I use a Star Now, I used Casting Call Pro, Mandy, or either projects that I was involved with whilst I was in Southampton at the time, and just anything that I was in, I would use that in my showreels. Now I did get some of the casting calls within my area from like social medias, as I've said, like Twitter, Facebook, certain acting groups, but I will always say just be careful, make sure you get full descriptions and you make sure it's all legit, because you do need to be careful. But it's a great place to find new people and projects that you probably would have never heard of because of mutual friends and things like that. But if you do see these types of castings on your social medias but it's not relevant to you, make sure you do share it on and pass it on to fellow friends, because it's really helpful and I've found many roles that way because someone else has shared it. So do share because it does help. Now those are the 3 things that I used in my showreel, and that was pretty much all I had at the time when I first started out. It got me through and it done really well, but I'm going to give you some other methods that could help you to get more footage for your showreel when you're first starting out. But whilst you're here, if you are enjoying this video so far, make sure, as you've always heard, give it a like, subscribe, because it really does help my channel and I'd love you to come along on this journey with me. Anyway, back to the video. Number 4. Collaborate with other performers. You know, just like you, there's so many other actors who need footage for their reels to get on castings. For example, you could just do a duologue with another actor and perform together, and you'll both have a scene to include in your showreel. Plus you can customise it to what you want or what you want to be casted for. But for these sort of things, just make sure you network. Reach out to your fellow, if you have classmates or friends or just people that you've met and connected through via social medias, and just collaborate and create something together, because you never know what could come of it. And likewise, look out for your other creative friends who are behind the camera, because they can help collaborate on it, because they need credits for things like this as well. So it's just a massive collaboration for you all to create something and have something to show for it. Now, number 5 is monologues. Now you can do this wherever you want, whether it's at home, in your garden. As always, just make sure it's good audio and it's clear and you can easily see yourself. Monologues are a great place to start if you literally don't have any footage for a showreel scene, because not all of us does have footage that we have, and it gives you an opportunity to pick a scene that you want, which showcases your best skills, your range, your literally everything. You can customize it and make sure it's the best take of your performance. Of course, it's not ideal and not all of us have, you know, the right equipment to film it on, but like I said, just as long as it's nice and clear, it's natural lighting, or if you do have artificial lighting, and you can just hear and see you clearly. If you need any tips about self-tape tips, I'm going to leave it up in the description thingy so you can get some of the tips that have helped me whilst filming it at home. But don't stress too much about what the casting directors and so forth will think of it, because they do understand, and like I said, everyone has to start somewhere. At least they'll see that you're trying and, you know, giving it your best shot. What are we on now? Number 5? No, number 6. Showreel companies. Now this might sound a bit daunting, or to some people it sounds a bit like a scheme, especially when I first started out, but it is a great option if you're able to do it. It's just making sure you find the right companies. Because when you pay for these purchases, you do get some amazing rewards from it. For example, they help with the preparation of picking the scene. They sort out getting all the equipment, the camera gear, the lighting. So, you know, you're paying for the service to have the full production value of a scene. And majority of them will create a script for you as well, so you don't have to worry about those sort of things. Because especially for me, I wouldn't have known where to start that sort of thing. All I knew was like theatre monologues. So they're a great place to start if you're not sure what to do and you're looking for some guidance and some help. Plus often you do have a director and they will help guide you and get the performance out of you that you can't do if you're on your own. One example of a showreel company that's quite high end is Acting Studio. Now I have worked with them before and that's why I am recommending them, because I've done the production side of it and helping people create their showreels as well on set, and their scenes look really awesome. So that's one place to look at, but of course I'm going to link some other ones in the description bar that are around the UK, from affordable prices to more high-end, depending on what sort of package you are looking for. But before you pick a showreel company, first thing is to figure out what you want. For example, if you have a couple scenes already for your reel and you only need one scene, make sure you only go and get one of those scenes. There's no point you paying for 4 or 5 showreel scenes if you only need the one. So do consider the expenses and what you actually need, because in your showreel you're not going to be using a full 4-minute scene in your reel. It just doesn't happen. So if you only need one scene to show a different side of your range or something that you just haven't had the opportunity to perform in, just specify a bit more. I think, like anything, you don't want to be wasting money and you want to be smart with your money, because there's so much that we have to pay for as actors. Yeah, just be smart. But don't stress too much about the quality and the overall high-end production value of your scenes, because as I said, and I will always say, we always have to start somewhere, and over time this will build up and the quality and the production value will get better over time. Unless you're one of those like one-off people that just end up on film and TV straight away. I envy you. But if you're not and you're like me and you have to build it up from the first level, yeah, I think that, does that even make sense? I don't know, I think I'm rambling. But anyway, over time, God, I've probably gone on a tangent here. But yeah, it will build up nice and slowly. Don't stress too much about if it doesn't seem very high quality and you've had to create something yourself. It will build up over time. So that's all my main pointers that I wanted to share with you today. Of course, there's several more, but here's a couple more tips when it comes to showreels and deciding about it. So most showreels average about 2 to 3 minutes max. But do consider that most, casting directors don't have time to sit through 3 minutes of your reels. They're probably going to judge you within the first 10-20 seconds. But it can show a range of your characterizations. And if you are starting to push on the 3 minutes or more, maybe you're ready to have separate reels. And if you are, congratulations! But yeah, 2 to 3 minutes I think is a good place to focus on or to aim at. And also, if your showreel is pushing the 3 minute mark, which mine has before, I've learned from it, but But if it is, then consider if any of your scenes are quite repetitive. For example, if it's the same type of characterizations or showing the same emotions, you don't need it. You just need one of them. Pick the best one, and that will minimize and limit your, not limit, what's the word? It will, my brain is proper gone today. But yeah, it will just make sure that you have your best scenes and in a small amount of time so they can watch all of them. Oh my god, I'm really not making sense, I'm sorry. But let me know if you would like to see a video of how I actually structure my show reels and how I have over the years, because me personally, I edit all of my reels myself and I learn as I go and look at other people's reels and suggestions for feedback and trying to improve it. But yeah, let me know if you would like to see my method and how I organise it, structure it, plan it and put it together. And also to give you the heads up on things that I would say don't do and learning from my mistake. But that's it. I hope this has helped you a little bit on creating your show reels and your plan and doing so. And once you have your show reel done, or you already do, let me know. Link it in the description. I'd love to see your reels and see your performances. But yeah, that's it. Take care, have a great day, and hope you're well. Bye.